Dr. Sarah Chen yawned as she stared at the computer screen. It was another long night at the radio telescope facility. The stars twinkled outside, but Sarah paid them no mind. Her eyes were fixed on the data streaming across her monitor. Suddenly, she sat up straight. Something was different. A pattern in the noise caught her attention. Sarah's heart began to race as she zoomed in on the signal. "This can't be right," she muttered to herself. Sarah called her colleague, Dr. Tom Reeves. "Tom, you need to see this." Tom rushed over, his eyes widening as he looked at the screen. "Is that what I think it is?" Sarah nodded. "It's not natural. This signal, it's artificial." They worked through the night, analyzing the data. As the sun rose, their excitement turned to fear. The signal wasn't just artificial, it was a message, and its contents were alarming. "We need to call the government," Tom said, his voice shaking. Within hours, Sarah and Tom found themselves in a secure video conference with top officials from around the world. The normally calm scientists struggled to keep their voices steady as they explained their discovery. "The signal is from an advanced alien civilization," Sarah said, "but it's not a greeting. It's a battle plan." Gasps filled the virtual room. The U.S. president leaned forward. "A battle plan? Are you certain?" Tom nodded. "We've decoded enough to know they're planning an invasion. They call themselves the Galactic Empire, and Earth is their next target." Chaos erupted in the meeting. Leaders argued about what to do, their faces pale with fear. Some wanted to prepare for war. Others suggested trying to negotiate. In the midst of the panic, a calm voice cut through the noise. It belonged to General Lai Zhao of China. "We must warn them," he said simply. The room fell silent. Sarah looked at the general, confused. "Warn them, but they're coming to attack us." General Zhao smiled. "Exactly. They think they're coming to conquer an easy target. We should let them know they're making a big mistake." The idea was crazy, but as the general explained his plan, people started to nod. Maybe, just maybe, it could work. Over the next few days, Sarah and Tom worked with a team of the world's best scientists and linguists. They crafted a message that would be sent back along the same frequency as the alien transmission. The message was simple but powerful. It told the story of humanity's resilience, our ability to overcome challenges, and our determination to protect our home. It warned the Galactic Empire that Earth would not be an easy conquest. As Sarah prepared to send the message, she felt a mix of fear and pride. Fear of the unknown threat coming their way, but pride in being part of humanity's first response. She pressed the button, sending humanity's warning out into the stars. Now, all they could do was wait and prepare. The next few months were a flurry of activity. Governments around the world united in a way they never had before. Old enemies became allies in the face of this new, greater threat. Sarah found herself working alongside military strategists, teaching them about alien technology while learning about Earth's defenses. Tom coordinated with engineers worldwide, helping to adapt our technology to fight an advanced enemy. As news of the impending invasion spread, panic gripped some parts of the world. But in many places, humanity's fighting spirit shone through. People volunteered in droves to help in any way they could. One evening, as Sarah watched the sunset from her lab, Tom joined her. "Do you think we have a chance?" he asked quietly. Sarah thought for a moment. She remembered all she had seen in the past few months: the cooperation, the ingenuity, the sheer determination of people around the world. "You know what, Tom? I think we do," she said with a smile. "The Galactic Empire has no idea what they're in for. We may not have their technology, but we have something they can't match." "What's that?" Tom asked. Sarah's eyes gleamed with pride. "The human spirit, and that's something worth fighting for." As the first stars appeared in the darkening sky, Sarah and Tom turned back to their work. The battle for Earth was coming, and humanity would be ready. The United Nations building buzzed with nervous energy. Leaders from every country on Earth had gathered for an emergency meeting. The alien invasion was no longer a secret. The world needed to act, and fast. General Lai Zhao stood at the podium, his face serious but calm. He looked out at the room full of worried faces and took a deep breath. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "we face the greatest threat in human history. But we also have a unique opportunity." The room fell silent. All eyes were on the general. "We have sent our warning to the Galactic Empire," he continued. "Now we must show them we mean business." Dr. Sarah Chen and Dr. Tom Reeves sat in the front row, their hearts pounding. They had helped craft the warning message, but what came next? General Zhao's plan was bold. He wanted to demonstrate humanity's strength in a way the aliens couldn't ignore. "We will launch a series of rockets," he explained, "not to attack, but to show our technological capabilities. We'll time them to reach the alien fleet just as they enter our solar system." Murmurs filled the room. Some leaders looked skeptical, others excited. The U.S. president stood up. "And what if they see this as an act of aggression?" General Zhao smiled. "That's the beauty of it. The rockets won't be armed. They'll be carrying something else. Data." He explained that each rocket would contain information about Earth's history, our technological advancements, and our cultural diversity. It would show the aliens that humanity was not just a species to be conquered, but one to be reckoned with. "We'll be saying, 'This is who we are. This is what we can do. And we're just getting started,'" the general concluded. The room erupted in applause. Even the skeptics had to admit it was a clever plan. As the meeting ended, Sarah and Tom were approached by the general. "We need your help," he said. "You two understand the alien technology better than anyone. Can you help us make sure our message gets through?" They nodded, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. This was their chance to make a real difference. Over the next few weeks, the world worked together like never before. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel from every nation pooled their resources and knowledge. Sarah and Tom worked around the clock, fine-tuning the rocket's communication systems. They had to make sure the aliens would receive and understand the message. As the launch day approached, a sense of unity spread across the globe. People from all walks of life came together to support the mission. Children drew pictures of peace between humans and aliens. Musicians composed songs of hope and defiance. On the morning of the launch, Sarah stood at the control center, her finger hovering over the button that would send humanity's message to the stars. Tom stood beside her, his hand on her shoulder for support. "Are you ready?" he asked. Sarah nodded, her eyes fixed on the countdown clock. "As ready as we'll ever be." The rocket stood on launch pads around the world, ready to carry humanity's warning to the approaching alien fleet. 10, 9, 8. The computerized voice began the final countdown. Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, thinking of everything that had led to this moment. The late nights at the telescope, the frantic meetings, the worldwide cooperation. It all came down to this. 3, 2, 1. She pressed the button. The Earth shook as rockets blasted off from every continent. People around the world watched in awe as streaks of light shot into the sky, carrying humanity's message of strength and determination. As the rockets disappeared from view, a strange calm settled over the planet. They had done all they could. Now, they had to wait. Sarah and Tom stepped outside the control center, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Galactic Empire was approaching, but Earth had sent its warning. Humanity had declared its intention to stand and fight. "Do you think it will work?" Tom asked quietly. Sarah squeezed his hand. "I don't know, but I do know one thing." "What's that?" She smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "Whatever happens next, we're in this together, all of us. And that's something even a galactic empire should fear." As they stood there, looking up at the sky, millions around the world did the same. United in purpose, prepared for whatever came next. The warning had been sent. Now, Earth would ready itself for the response. The world held its breath. Days passed with no response from the Galactic Empire, but Earth didn't stay idle. Preparations for the coming storm began in earnest. In a secret underground facility, Dr. Sarah Chen and Dr. Tom Reeves huddled over a strange device. It looked like a mix between a computer and a crystal ball. "If we can reverse engineer their communication technology," Sarah said, her eyes bright with excitement, "we might be able to listen in on their plans." Tom nodded, carefully adjusting a wire, "and maybe even disrupt their communications during the battle." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and technology. In Japan, a team led by Dr. Yuki Tanaka made a breakthrough in energy weapons. "We've managed to create a laser powerful enough to potentially penetrate alien ship shields," she announced to cheering colleagues. Meanwhile, in a lab in Kenya, Dr. Amani Okafor and her team developed new materials for spacecraft. "This could make our ships faster and more resilient," she explained to visiting military officials. But it wasn't just about weapons and spaceships. Farmers worked to increase food production, preparing for potential shortages. Doctors and nurses trained to handle alien biology, just in case. General Lai Zhao oversaw it all from a bustling command center. Maps and screens covered the walls, showing the progress of projects around the world. "How are we doing on the global defense grid?" he asked an aide. 70% complete, sir," the aide replied. "We should be fully operational within the week." The general nodded, his face a mix of pride and concern. They were making progress, but would it be enough? In cities and towns, civilians did their part too. People learned basic survival skills and emergency protocols. Schools held drills, teaching children what to do in case of an alien attack. One day, as Sarah walked through a park on a rare break, she saw a group of kids playing. They were pretending to fight off alien invaders with sticks for weapons. "Take that, space bad guys," a little girl shouted, waving her stick. "Earth is our home, and you can't have it." Sarah couldn't help but smile. Even in the face of a galactic threat, the human spirit remained unbroken. Back at the lab, Tom made an exciting discovery. "Sarah, come quick," he called out. "I think I've found a way to boost our signal strength. We might be able to reach further into space, maybe even contact other civilizations for help." Sarah rushed over, her heart pounding with excitement. As they worked on the new communication system, a thought struck her. "Tom," she said slowly, "what if we're not alone in this fight? What if there are other species out there who've resisted the Galactic Empire?" Tom's eyes widened at the possibility. "We could have allies we don't even know about yet." They worked through the night, fine-tuning the system. As dawn broke, they sent out a message, a call for help to the stars. Days turned into weeks. The world continued its frantic preparations. New weapons were tested, defenses were built, and plans were made. In orbit, a fleet of Earth's best spacecraft assembled. They were few in number compared to what the Galactic Empire would bring, but each was a testament to human ingenuity and determination. One evening, General Zhao called a meeting of Earth's top scientists and military leaders. The room was tense as everyone took their seats. "We've received a response," the general announced, his voice grave. The room fell silent. Sarah and Tom exchanged nervous glances. "Not from the Galactic Empire," General Zhao continued, "but from someone else. Someone who wants to help." He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a being unlike anything they'd ever seen before. Its voice was strange but clear. "People of Earth, you are not alone in your fight against the Empire. We too have suffered at their hands. We offer our knowledge and our strength. Together, we may stand a chance." As the message ended, the room erupted in excited chatter. Hope, which had been in short supply, suddenly seemed to fill the air. Sarah turned to Tom, her eyes shining. "We did it," she whispered. "We found allies." General Zhao raised his hand for silence. "This changes things," he said, a small smile on his face. But our work is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. As the meeting adjourned, people left with a new spring in their step. The odds were still against them, but they were no longer facing the Galactic Empire alone. Earth's preparations continued with renewed vigor. The coming battle would decide the fate of not just humanity, but perhaps of freedom throughout the galaxy. And Earth intended to be ready. The day everyone had been preparing for finally arrived. Earth's advanced warning systems detected a massive fleet entering the solar system. The Galactic Empire had come. In the Global Command Center, General Lai Zhao stood tall, his face a mask of calm determination. "This is it," he announced to the room full of world leaders and military commanders. "Sound the alarms. It's time to put our plans into action." Sirens wailed across the planet. In cities, people hurried to designated shelters. In secret bases around the world, soldiers and pilots rushed to their stations. Dr. Sarah Chen and Dr. Tom Reeves sat at their control panels, monitoring the alien fleet's approach. "They're moving faster than we expected," Sarah said, her voice tense. Tom nodded, his fingers flying over the keyboard. "I'm activating our stealth satellites now. Let's see if we can get a closer look without them noticing." On screens around the world, people watched in awe and fear as the first images of the alien ships came through. They were massive, sleek vessels that seemed to shine with an otherworldly light. "My God," someone in the command center whispered. "There are so many of them." General Zhao's voice cut through the murmurs. "Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. Humanity has faced impossible odds before, and we've always found a way to survive." As the alien fleet entered Earth's orbit, they suddenly stopped. For a moment, everything was still. Then, a transmission came through. The face of an alien appeared on screens worldwide. It had purple skin, 4 eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. "People of Earth," it spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "I am Admiral Zork of the Galactic Empire. Your planet now belongs to us. Surrender, and you may live as our subjects. Resist, and you will be destroyed." There was a pause as the transmission ended. Then, General Zhao stepped forward. He pressed a button, sending Earth's response to the alien fleet. "Admiral Zork," he said, his voice steady and strong. "I am General Lai Zhao of Earth. We've been expecting you. And we have a message for your empire." He nodded to Sarah, who activated a special program. Suddenly, every screen on Earth and in the alien fleet lit up with images. They showed Earth's history, its wars, its triumphs, its resilience. "We are humanity," General Zhao continued. "We've fought each other for centuries. We've faced plagues, natural disasters, and our own mistakes. But we're still here. We've walked on our moon, sent robots to distant planets, and cured diseases once thought incurable. We create art that can make people cry, music that can make them dance, and stories that can change the world." The images change, showing Earth's preparations, its new weapons, its united people, its determination. "We will not surrender. We will not become your subjects. This is our home, and we will defend it. You may have conquered other worlds, Admiral Zork, but you've never faced anything like humanity." As General Zhao's words echoed across space, Earth's defenses sprang to life. Hidden bases on the Moon and Mars revealed massive ion cannons. Stealth fighters emerged from secret hangars. And in orbit, Earth's small but advanced fleet took up defensive positions. Admiral Zork's face contorted with rage. "You dare to challenge the Galactic Empire? So be it. Let your destruction be a lesson to all who would resist us." The alien ships started to move, spreading out in attack formation. In the command center, General Zhao turned to his team. "This is the moment we've prepared for. Whatever happens next, know that Earth stands united. May our courage never falter." Sarah and Tom exchanged a look. Despite the fear, there was also excitement. This was humanity's greatest test, and they were part of it. As the first alien ships entered the atmosphere, Earth's defenses opened fire. Beams of energy crisscrossed the sky, meeting the Empire's weapons in brilliant explosions. The battle for Earth had begun. In homes and shelters, in secret bases and orbiting ships, humanity held its breath. They had prepared as best they could. Now it was time to fight. And as the sky lit up with the fury of two civilizations clashing, one thing became clear. The Galactic Empire had indeed never faced anything like humanity before. And they were about to learn just how costly underestimating Earth could be. The battle raged across Earth's skies. For days, the planet shook with the fury of alien weapons and human defenses. Cities lay in ruins, but humanity fought on. In the command center, General Lai Zhao hadn't slept in 72 hours. His eyes were red, but his voice remained steady as he directed Earth's forces. "Status report," he barked. An aide rushed over. "Sir, we've lost 40% of our orbital defenses. The Empire's taken heavy losses too, but they keep coming." General Zhou nodded grimly. They needed a game-changer, and fast. Meanwhile, in an underground lab, Dr. Sarah Chen and Dr. Tom Reeves worked frantically. They'd been analyzing alien technology captured in the battle. "Look at this," Sarah said, pointing to a holographic display. "They're ship's energy shields. They're not constant. They flicker for a microsecond after each hit." Tom's eyes widened. "If we could time our attacks to that flicker, we might just have a chance," Sarah finished. They rushed to share their discovery with General Zhao. As they explained, a spark of hope lit up in the general's tired eyes. "Can you modify our weapons to exploit this weakness?" he asked. Sarah nodded. "We'll need every hacker and engineer we've got. But yes, we can do it." "Then do it," the general ordered. "You have 6 hours." As Sarah and Tom raced back to their lab, the battle took a turn for the worse. The Empire launched a massive assault on Earth's last strongholds. In New York, Captain Maria Rodriguez led a squad of mech-suited soldiers against a group of alien walkers. "For Earth," she yelled, her suit's jetpack flaring as she launched into the air. Her team followed, raining fire on the aliens. But for every walker they took down, 2 more seemed to appear. In orbit, Commander Jamal Khoury piloted Earth's flagship, the Hope. His ship shuddered under alien fire. "Shields at 15%, his AI reported. "We can't take much more of this, Commander." Jamal gritted his teeth. "We hold the line. Earth is counting on us." Back in the lab, Sarah and Tom worked at superhuman speed. Engineers and programmers from around the world joined them virtually, all working together to modify Earth's defenses. As the 6th hour approached, Sarah looked up from her computer. "It's done," she said, her voice hoarse from exhaustion. Tom nodded, sending the update to every human ship and weapon system. "Let's hope it works," he said. In the command center, General Zhao received the update. Without hesitation, he gave the order. "All units, initiate Operation Flicker Strike." Across the globe and in orbit, human forces changed tactics. They fired in precise, coordinated bursts, timing their attacks to the millisecond. At first, nothing seemed to change. Then, suddenly, alien ships started falling from the sky. In New York, Captain Rodriguez watched in amazement as her team's weapons tore through the alien walker's shields. "It's working," she shouted. "Push them back." In space, Commander Khoury's eyes widened as alien ships exploded around him. "Impossible," he whispered. Then, a grin spread across his face. All ships pressed the attack. The tide of battle shifted. Human forces, rejuvenated by their sudden advantage, fought with renewed vigor. Alien ships fell by the dozens, then by the hundreds. In his flagship, Admiral Zork watched in disbelief as his supposedly invincible armada crumbled. "How?" he roared. "How are they doing this?" As if in answer, his ship's shields failed. The last thing Admiral Zork saw was the Hope bearing down on him, guns blazing. In the command center, A cheer went up as the alien flagship exploded. General Zhao allowed himself a small smile. "Well done, everyone," he said. "But it's not over yet." He was right. While many alien ships fled, others fought on desperately. The battle continued, but now Earth had the upper hand. Sarah and Tom watched the updates come in, tears of joy and exhaustion in their eyes. "We did it," Tom said, squeezing Sarah's hand. Sarah nodded, but her mind was already racing ahead. "This is just the beginning," she said. "Think of what else we could learn from their technology." As dawn broke over a battered but unbroken Earth, humanity dared to hope. They had stood against the might of a galactic empire and held their ground. The war wasn't over, but the turning point had come. And Earth had shown the universe that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. In the smoldering ruins of cities, in the void of space littered with debris, a new chapter in human history was being written. The chapter where Earth fought back. The dust of battle was settling. Earth's cities lay in ruins, but its spirit remained unbroken. The remnants of the once mighty Galactic Empire fleet hovered uncertainly in orbit, their weapons silent. In the United Nations headquarters, hastily repaired after the invasion, world leaders gathered. The air was tense with anticipation. General Li Zhao stood at the podium, his uniform crisped despite the weeks of battle. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "we have received a transmission from the Empire. They're asking for a ceasefire." A murmur rippled through the room. After all the destruction, could it really be over? Dr. Sarah Chen and Dr. Tom Reeves sat in the front row, their faces a mix of exhaustion and hope. They had been instrumental in turning the tide of the war, but now a new challenge lay ahead. "The Empire wants to negotiate," General Zhao continued. "They've agreed to send representatives to Earth for peace talks." The room erupted in discussion. Some leaders wanted to refuse, to push their advantage and destroy the Empire completely. Others argued for caution, fearing the Empire might have hidden resources. Sarah stood up, her voice cutting through the noise. "We should hear them out," she said. "This is our chance to establish Earth as a galactic power, not just another conquered world." Tom nodded in agreement. "We've shown them our strength. Now let's show them our wisdom." After hours of debate, a decision was reached. Earth would negotiate, but from a position of strength. Days later, a small alien ship descended towards the UN building. People around the world watched on screens, holding their breath as the ship landed and its doors opened. Out stepped 3 aliens, each different from the last. The leader, a tall being with shimmering scales, introduced himself as Ambassador Qatar. "We come in peace," Kar said, his voice translated through a device on his chest. "The Galactic Empire acknowledges the strength and ingenuity of Earth. We seek to end this conflict." General Zhao led the Earth delegation, with Sarah and Tom by his side as scientific advisors. They sat across from the aliens in a room that had seen countless human negotiations, but never anything like this. "You invaded our world," General Zhao said, his voice stern. "You sought to conquer us. Why should we trust you now?" Ambassador Qatar lowered his eyes. "We have ruled the galaxy unopposed for millennia. Your resistance, it has opened our eyes. We see now that there is another way." The negotiations were intense. Earth demanded reparations for the damage caused, access to advanced alien technology, and a guarantee of independence. The Empire, in turn, sought assurances that Earth wouldn't use its newfound knowledge to seek revenge. Days turned into weeks. The talks were broadcast worldwide, captivating humanity. People who had been enemies just months ago now cheered together as their representatives stood firm against the galactic power. Sarah and Tom worked tirelessly, analyzing each piece of technology the Empire offered, ensuring Earth wasn't being shortchanged. One evening, as they pored over schematics of faster-than-light engines, Sarah looked up at Tom. "Can you believe it?" she said. "A few months ago, we were just searching for signals from space. Now we're negotiating interstellar treaties." Tom smiled, taking her hand. And it's just the beginning. Imagine where we'll be in a year or 10. As the negotiations neared their end, a final challenge arose. The Empire insisted on Earth joining a galactic council to prevent future conflicts. Many Earth leaders were hesitant, fearing it would limit their newfound freedom. It was General Zhao who found the solution. "We will join your council," he told Ambassador Kaxar, "but as equals, not subjects. And we propose that this council be reformed, to give voice to all species, not just the powerful." Sar was silent for a long moment. Then, to everyone's surprise, he smiled. "Perhaps," he said, "this is why the universe needed Earth, to remind us of the values we have forgotten." With those words, the last barriers fell away. A new era of galactic politics was born, with Earth at its heart. As the final documents were signed, cheers erupted around the world. Humanity had not only survived its trial by fire, but emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to take its place among the stars. Sarah and Tom stood by a window, watching the alien ship prepare to depart. "What do you think comes next?" Tom asked. Sarah's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Everything, Tom. Everything comes next." And as the ship rose into the sky, humanity looked up not with fear, but with hope and determination. The galaxy was waiting, and Earth was ready to explore it. 5 years had passed since the Great War with the Galactic Empire. Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined. On a clear morning, Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the balcony of the newly built Galactic Embassy in New York. The city skyline was a mix of familiar skyscrapers and alien architecture, a symbol of Earth's new status in the universe. "Dr. Chen," the voice called. She turned to see her old friend and colleague, Dr. Tom Reeves, approaching with a smile. "The ceremony is about to begin." Sarah nodded, taking a deep breath. "I can't believe it's been 5 years already," she said. Together, they walked into a grand hall filled with humans and aliens alike. At the center stood General Li Zhao, now Earth's representative to the Galactic Council. "Friends, colleagues, honored guests," General Zhao began, his voice carrying across the room. "Today, we celebrate not just Earth's survival, but its rebirth as a key player in galactic affairs." The audience listened intently as he recounted the journey from first contact to war, from victory to peace. Sarah and Tom exchanged proud glances, remembering their role in those historic events. "But our greatest achievement," General Zhao continued, "has been the reformation of the Galactic Council itself. No longer is it a tool of empire, but a forum for cooperation and mutual understanding." On a large screen behind him, images appeared of Earth's contributions to the galaxy. New technologies developed by blending human ingenuity with alien knowledge. Diplomatic missions that had prevented wars on distant worlds. The first human colonies on exoplanets, living in harmony with native species. And none of this would have been possible, the general said, without the brilliance and dedication of 2 individuals. Dr. Sarah Chen and Dr. Tom Reeves, please step forward. Surprised, Sarah and Tom made their way to the stage. The crowd erupted in applause, aliens and humans alike showing their appreciation. For their crucial role in Earth's defense and their continued work in advancing interstellar relations, I am honored to present them with the first ever Galactic Peace Prize, General Zhao announced. As they accepted the award, a small spherical alien floated up to them. "Greetings," it said in a melodious voice. "I am 6X from the planet Luminara. Your work inspired my people to join the council. We thank you." Sarah felt tears in her eyes. This was beyond anything she had dreamed of when she first pointed her telescope at the stars. After the ceremony, Sarah and Tom found a quiet moment alone. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Tom asked, looking out at the bustling city where humans and aliens mingled freely. Sarah shook her head, smiling. "Sometimes I still think I'll wake up and find it was all a dream. But then I remember everything we went through, everything we fought for, and everything we still have to do," Tom added, The galaxy's a big place. There's so much more to explore, to learn. Their conversation was interrupted by a young girl, no more than 10 years old, approaching them shyly. "Dr. Chin, Dr. Reeves," she said, "I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to explore the stars." Sarah knelt down to the girl's level. "What's your name?" she asked. "Amelia," the girl replied. "Well, Amelia," Sarah said, her eyes twinkling, "the stars are waiting for you. Study hard, be curious, and never stop dreaming. Who knows, maybe one day you'll make friends with aliens we haven't even met yet." As Amelia ran off, excited to tell their parents about the encounter, Tom chuckled. "Looks like we've inspired the next generation," he said. Sarah nodded, feeling a sense of hope and purpose. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Pushing boundaries, inspiring others to do the same. As the sun set over New York, casting a golden glow on the alien ships and human buildings alike, Sarah and Tom joined their colleagues for a celebration. The room was filled with laughter, stories, and plans for the future. Earth had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger than ever. It had found its place in the galaxy, not through conquest, but through courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable spirit. As Sarah raised a toast to the future, she knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's greatest adventure was still to come. The stars were calling, and Earth was ready to answer. In labs and universities, in spaceports and alien worlds, humans were making their mark. They carried with them the lessons of the past and the hopes for the future. And wherever they went, they brought the unique spirit that had allowed them to stand against an empire and reshape the galaxy. The new era had begun, and humanity was leading the way.